I have had many oh shit moments since signing up for this race.
I'm a little bit worried about my feet, only because Beth told us we had to tape up all of our toes, and I've never done that before.
I vacillate between excitement and wanting to puke.
So I'm gonna not tape up my toes, and I'm hoping that my feet are okay.
So my goal for this race is to run 100 miles. And thinking of that on its own is just so overwhelming that it scares the shit out of me.
I would really like to reach 100K. I think that's my main distance goal.
It doesn't matter if I get to the 100 miles, but I'd like to, and I think, you know, maybe not achieving that goal is a little scary.
And a goal would be to feel okay at the end of this, you know, to not be so broken down that I never want to run again. We are here to run a Yeti race.
It's the Yeti Dark Anchor.
That is a 34-hour timed loop race. So each loop is about 3.5 miles.
And you can run as many or as little loops as you want within that 34-hour time frame.
How was it out there?
Very nice.
Many routes. Can't wait to do it again.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like about 29 times.
It's loop 2.
We're in Wormslow State Park. It has these oak trees that arc over the center of the road, and it makes a really majestic, beautiful, you know, kind of vista to look at. So it's a 3.5 mile loop, and there's kind of like 4 features that I keep my eye on as I come around each loop to just kind of keep track of how far I've gone. We're coming up on the first feature, which really isn't anything too incredible, but it's this picnic bench. And when you kind of walk out off of the trail a little bit, you have this really beautiful, like a bay, or what it is exactly, but it is just absolutely stunning. Point of interest number 2. This course is very flat, and this is the hill, which isn't even really a hill, but they're calling it Mount Yeti. So that was it. That was our hill, Mount Yeti. Coming up on point of interest number 3. This is the colonial area, a little blacksmith area, and I don't know, some other stuff. All right, this is the final point, the 4th place, where once I get there, I feel like I am in the home stretch. And you get off the paved road, and you kind of come around the bend, and you reach this of just all of these southern live oaks with the Spanish moss hanging down, and it's just incredible.
I think it's just being able to prove to myself that I can do hard things. I've done hard things, and I want to continue to do hard things, and this seems like a very safe space to do something very hard. You know,
yes, I'm going to be tired, it's going to hurt, I'm going to want to quit, but those aren't reasons to quit. Hopefully I can just push through all that and keep going. And yeah, I think that's my goal, is to just give it everything I've got.
The Yeti Trail Runners, or the Yeti Trail Cult, they are a group of trail runners that are just so loving and accepting, and
it's just a great vibe because Nobody's a super serious trail runner. They're there for the camaraderie and the experience and supporting each other.
Everyone is very supportive at these events, and everyone wants to see everyone succeed, and I think that's not something that's seen at every single race event.
They really appealed to me because I'm not very fast and I'm just about enjoying the experience.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah. I had done my research prior to this event, and everything I read said to start eating early and often.
I think one of the reasons I really love doing long running events is because it gives me an opportunity to eat a lot of food along the way. And you have to, keep fueling yourself with all these calories.
I felt like the majority of this race, eating was out of necessity.
I believe I ate an entire can of Pringles.
I wanted to make sure that when I got to 40 miles, I was still able to keep eating and keep my energy level high and not have an upset stomach.
Tortilla roll-ups, peanut butter and jelly, hummus, I think that was my favorite, avocado, grilled cheeses.
Watching Chris eat brought joy to my day.
She loves to eat!
Seeing the little glimmer in her eye every time a tender little morsel was offered to her warmed my heart.
And I did eat a half of a hot dog because it looked so good.
And she never stopped.
Honey stinger chews and honey stinger waffles, I like those. I had a lot of fig bars.
What was your favorite? You tell me you were the runner.
I don't know. I mean, I've been really liking all the little wraps.
Bacon and hummus?
I did stick a little nugget of bacon in there once.
Oh, yeah.
Did I say I ate a whole can of Pringles? Yeah. Pringles, if you want to sponsor me, you can.
The beginning part of the day, I was really focused on taking it easy, trying to figure out what an appropriate pace will be. I was very methodical, so it was very much, let's keep the walk-run pace going. Let's consume food every single loop.
Water and tailwind,
please.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Are you ready for a loop party?
So far, it's going great. I'm having fun. The course is very nice. It's like sort of sandy dirt, so it's nice and soft.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Heading out on loop 5 at 9:16.
I felt really great for the first 50K.
Having a great time. Kristina is a great crew chief. I've got to run with Beth and Chris.
And then when I reached 50K and knew that every single step after that was a PR, I felt really, really great.
Currently 40 miles in, feeling pretty good because the temperatures are starting to go down. If you know me, you know this ginger cannot handle heat. Feels like it's dropping pretty quickly too. Nice breeze coming in. It's definitely helping my mood. I have surpassed my longest distance ever at this point by 8 miles. Feeling good, excited to hit that 50-mile mark. No doubt 100K is gonna happen. We'll see about 100 miles.
It just makes it so much more enjoyable to share it. It'd be okay to come down here and do it by myself, but these things are always so much better with a friend. We'll motivate each other, we'll tell each other we don't get tired.
You guys doing all right? Yeah. Not as full of shit as you guys.
All right,
So nice to just hang out with you and talk for a little bit.
Awesome.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I felt great through mile 40, felt super strong, felt mostly okay through mile 50.
I kept up with those run-walk intervals and I felt great. I got to the 50K point and I felt really amazing. It was sort of like I could do this all day kind of a feeling. And then when the sun came out and I was able to have my tank top on and enjoy the sunshine, and There was a breeze, so it wasn't too hot, and I felt really, really good.
I think it's loop 12. Not 100% sure. When I finish this loop, I will have reached my distance PR, which will be over 41 miles. Coming in at the end of this lap, and yay, distance PR! Yay!
I was still managing to do some running intervals, I think pretty much all the way up until it was like the mile 49.
It was soon after mile 50 that my legs started to feel not so hot, specifically my hips.
I was very, very pleased with how good I felt until I started to not feel so good.
It is 6:08 p.m. and Kristin and Chris are both out on loop 14. I think they're definitely feeling it, but they're doing good. They are really on top of their nutrition and their hydration and their medication and their lubrication. It's getting dark, so they took their headlamps out with them this last time.
I thought maybe the music would help me, so I tried some music for a little while. I was just starting to realize that like everything was really getting sore very, very quickly. Like I went from feeling pretty good to, wow, my knee hurts, my feet hurt, my legs are like just throbbing.
Loop 16 was the first dark loop. I don't know where everyone went, but I felt very alone.
There were definitely some noises that were coming from under the brush and things like that.
I heard something moving in the woods that I swear was a human.
So I was really nervous that maybe there were wild pigs in the woods.
It was probably a squirrel, but it sounded enormous. It sounded huge. And I just started going, animals go away.
Right.
Like at the top.
I think that mentally really shook me. I didn't want to go out by myself anymore. I very much wanted companionship at that point. I was incredibly stiff and had my mind solidly made up that I was going to push to 100K, but that was going to be it.
I ran 0 in that last. It's falling apart fast.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like,
I'm glad you feel the same way.
Things are like twinging and like faltering, and I'm like, what is happening? I'm sorry. I need a few minutes. That was brutal. I know I said I didn't want to complain, but all my stuff hurts.
Everything hurts and I die.
My upper body feels okay.
Yeah, right? My core feels good.
I did decide to use this as an opportunity to do some fundraising for Metavivor, an organization that provides research and support for people that have had metastatic breast cancer. That is what my mom has.
And I had said, every day my mom faces challenges, pushes through pain and exhaustion, and somehow finds the strength and resilience to keep moving forward. Her strength inspires me to do the same thing. I will run this race for my mom and for all of those battling cancer. And so, of course, when I read those words, I think I was able to put aside the fact that my feet hurt so badly.
My feet hurt, but so what? Carry me, Christina. And me too. I'm just gonna take a really quick little nap. Don't lay down, get up. No, it feels so good.
Come on.
It feels so good to get off my feet.
And it really did kind of give me that extra motivation to just say, I can get through this.
So when I went into the woods to pee and I squatted down, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to stand back up.
It's something that I wanted to feel. I wanted to feel like I was pushing myself farther than I ever had and pushing through a little bit of pain. But the funny thing is, my mom had sent me a note that said, we're very proud of you and you've done a lot. I think you should stop now.
My mom told me that she's proud of me and I'm already amazing and that I shouldn't have to do any more laps and that I should be done now. And also this should be my last race. But I'll probably do more laps and I'll probably do more races. But I love you, Mom.
I've never ran anything more than 50K, no clue what to expect, but hey, 100 miles sounds really awesome. And I've come to realize that when you say things like 100K versus 100 miles, you don't realize how large of a difference that is. It's very similar to saying $1 million and $1 billion. Drew told Max, you know, she's trying to run 100 miles, and Max is like, why not just go for 1,000? I'm like, thanks, bud. You can't rationalize how large of a difference that is until you've experienced it. So I would have had to have completed 11 more loops after finishing 100K, and that just wasn't going to happen. And I was okay with that.
I'm just worried that you're gonna look back and say,
I'm not, man.
you know, I could have kept going.
I'm not, I'm hurting. I'm like more so than just, oh, this is achy. Like, and I mean extreme achy. Like, I'm worried if I keep going, I'm going to be really fucked up. I was not going to run to 100 miles because my hips were just in entirely too much pain. I didn't want to end up being seriously injured and having to take months off for physical therapy or anything like that.
I'm sorry to tell you, I can get tired.
Me too.
Hey Beth, we're finishing our first 100K right now. First and last.
I really feel that way. Like, my thought of, oh, I'd have to do this again to get, nope, that has completely.
Yeah.
We'll see.
229. 229, thank you.
173.
I did it! I didn't even totally get your hand. Oh. Yeah!
That's 63 miles.
Yep. Our finish was a little uneventful because it was about 18 hours into this 34-hour event. So there were still plenty of people out there going for longer distances.
It was very much a non-event when we crossed the finish line officially.
We went and came back the next day to get our hug from Jason Green, because it's a big deal.
We wanted to come and let Jason know we finished our first 100K!
Yay! Congratulations! Think of what was coming.
I can't put into words how lovely it feels to have a race director care about all of his participants so much, whether you're the first one to finish or the last one to finish. So that hug, that is, for me, what brought everything full circle.
On this trip, another friend of ours, Beth Dickey, was also traveling down there to do this race.
Beth is 62 years young. She came down with her husband, Mouse, and their lovely dog, Bailey.
We were excited to, kind of share in her race experience because I knew that she was going for her longest distance. The whole day, she just looked so strong. She never seemed like she was hurting. She always had a smile on her face.
When I left on Friday night, she was very positive.
We knew she was still out there, and she didn't seem like she had any intention of stopping.
Come back Saturday to get our hug, and Beth is still chugging along. She is not walking slowly. She is not looking like she is in pain. She still has a smile on her face. She is still saying she feels good, and she is still moving along at a very steady pace.
Still smiling.
Yep. The most fun part of that race was seeing the people that were coming in that last hour.
I don't know how these people do it.
There were so many folks that were there, I think, chasing their very first 100-mile buckle. And I saw people that had been running for 33 hours and 45 minutes sprinting to finish in that cutoff time to get their 100-mile buckle, and it was just so inspiring. People that were obviously hurting, that were barely still going, but they made it, and That was just so inspiring.
It's indescribable, the feeling that you have when you watch these people achieve such a tremendous goal.
Beth was at the race with her husband Mouse. He was crewing her and he was doing a great job. I heard somebody had asked Beth at the very end of her race what her favorite part was. And she said that her favorite part was that Mouse could be there with her because he had recently had a stroke. And so the fact that he was able to be there and be supporting her was so meaningful for her.
Cross the mat, cross the mat. Cross the mat. What's your number? Congratulations.
Let me get your number.
Thank you so much for coming.
I very much feel like post 100K, 50K, 50 mile, you start to forget the pain. It's very similar to childbirth. A few days later, you forget how much you were hurting. I don't know that I'll ever do another 100 miler, but I'm not gonna say never. So I think a 50 miler, 100K in the near future is not off the table.
Ooh, the other thing that was really, really good was the ramen noodles.
How many did you have?
Probably 75. Ginger snap. Num num num.